Hello, mutants. I'm Utisha, the movie goddess, and you're watching Mutant TV.
Welcome back to the Fright Night Film Fest, Fandom Fest 2011 in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm very pleased to be joined by some of North Carolina's own homegrown independent filmmakers, Mr. Jaysen Buterin, the mastermind behind Mad Ones Films. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, we haven't had you yet, but wait. But if we drink enough, we will.
We do have a hotel room for tonight. That's an entirely different film.
Now, we just met you just recently at Con Carolinas. We just missed you just last year because you guys were around there, and we had a film playing last year, but our paths never quite crossed. But after that, I've kind of been aware of you guys and following your progress.
We caught up at Connecticut too, so
yeah. And I admire your tenacity and your drive and your passion as an independent filmmaker, and I can see and I appreciate what you're doing and how you kind of carry Mad Ones Films along, and you have kind of a plan behind it all. So I'm excited to talk to you about independent filmmaking.
Yes.
And
I'm impressed by the Mutantville production. I mean, just your marketing, your promotion, your materials, everything like that. Everything you guys do just looks brilliant. So and what you're doing for film and for horror around the Southeast, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mutantville.com.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Well, this one we're going to talk about independent filmmaking instead of just horror, because you guys do some really cool film. I'm not sure what genre you would call it, just kind of genre crime-esque, I don't know.
Yeah, the trilogy, or yeah, the Hot Pink Jesus trilogy, Shakespearean spaghetti western is kind of what I'm going for. You know, Tarantino directed an episode of The Twilight Zone, something like that. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, but we've done all sorts of stuff. I mean, we've done horror, we've done the psychological thrillers, we've done the zombie films. What we're doing right now is kind of just a hodgepodge melange of all those different elements. But we try and run the border. We try and run the gamut and stuff like that. I'd like to do a romance comedy. I think that would be fun. But I don't know if I can do a romance comedy and not kill somebody or have something sacrilegious in the film at all. I don't know.
Well, do you have a favorite genre film of that type over the years that's inspired you?
I mean, honestly, I know we were going to try and steer it towards independent filmmaking, but I always come back to horror. I mean, I grew up watching that. You know, I can remember Channel 11, KPLR in St. Louis, Missouri, every Sunday from like 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. would show just nothing but Universal horror. So I mean, I watched, the Lon Chaney, the Lon Chaney, Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff. Like, I just watched this movies over and over again. My dad actually grew up with Vincent Price in St. Louis, so he would tell me stories about, yeah, that's Vinny. I'm like, you call Vincent Price Vinny? Nice. So I mean, I've just always had that love, that passion for horror, which I think is probably what got me into filmmaking. Seeing so many bad movies and stuff, and I'd be like, well, I could do it better.
Right.
The girl who became my wife's like, well, then just do it and shut up about it. Okay.
Well, that kind of leads us into the next question, which is, what inspired you to get into writing and directing?
Well, we did Mad Ones. We came together in 2006 for the Greensboro 48-hour film project, which you can look up online. But brilliant concept and stuff like that. You basically, you get these required elements on a Friday night. You have 48 hours to make a 4 to 7 minute film. You have to turn it in on Sunday at like 7 o'clock or something like that. You draw genres. There's like required lines, props, characters, all that kind of thing. We did that, and I ended up writing it. I mean, I had no clue how to write a screenplay. I didn't know anything about formatting. I just scribbled out like a 6-page thing on a notepad. I'm like, okay, do this. Immediately after that, we did a 45-minute sort of psychological horror thriller called The Devil's Tramping Ground, which is based on a piece of North Carolina folklore. Out in Siler City, there was supposed to be a 40-foot circle with the devil walking around in circles at night, plotting the machinations of all the world's evil. We actually went out to this said place of just pure and utter, evil and decadence, and it was more like a 4-foot burn pit with a bunch of Schlitz and PBR boxes scattered off to the side. So not nearly as dark and depressing and frightening and fear-inducing as we thought it was. So we made our own. And then after that, we started making like zombie service announcements and Flipper Stripper Vixens at the Inferno A Go-Go, the Decapitator. I mean, just all sorts of stuff.
Great titles.
I've been a music journalist, a columnist for years and stuff like that. So I've had a gift with words. So yeah, we get a lot of positive response on our titles. I was listening to two drunk guys last night saying that Hot Pink Jesus was the best name for a movie ever, and they were so pissed because they couldn't come to the screening. I'm like, we have merchandise online.
It's a title that grabs you, man. Well, what do you think about what's going on in the independent scene nowadays? Let's talk about North Carolina. I mean, what do you think about what's going on there?
North Carolina, as I mean, I'm very, very fortunate that when I got into filmmaking, I was at the place that I was at geographically. 'Cause, I mean, North Carolina has just absolute brilliant filmmakers. I mean, and there's a lot of resources. There's everything going on in Wilmington. They shot a bunch of the WB, CW, Pretty People shows and stuff like that out there. But I mean, you've got North Carolina School of the Arts. You've got Winston-Salem, Charlotte, Raleigh, Greensboro. Plug. I mean, and just even where we're at in Greensboro, I mean, it's such a flux of creative bohemian ideas coming together. And there's other film groups and companies that we've helped out with. They've helped out with our stuff. So it's a very mutually beneficial relationship. And it's really just some absolute brilliant filmmakers in Greensboro.
I agree completely. I'm very excited to follow the progress of Hot Pink Jesus trilogy. We've met a lot of other cool people, like the guys with the Adrenaline group.
Adrenaline group.
In Charlotte, there's a ton of guys like the Image Impact group, and it just goes on and on and on, Downhill and all that. But one thing I wanted to ask you is, I think it's very risque to. Just the title itself, Hot Pink Jesus, I mean, that takes balls in North Carolina, one of the centers of the darn Bible Belt, where people are very close-minded.
The rhinestone on the belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
Yes, they take religion very, very seriously. So I give you kudos for going with that. I mean, did you ever think, maybe I shouldn't do this, or did you think this is exactly what I want to do? I want to excite.
One thought directly followed the other. Like, maybe I shouldn't do this. It's exactly what I want to do. My wife's like, you're going to hell. If I was teetering on the precipice before and this is what pushed me over the edge, I'm okay with that. I mean, it's definitely, and a lot of people, especially, and each act in the trilogy has its own sort of central motif, its own sort of theme. Act 1 is revenge, Act 2 is lust, and Act 3 is faith. But I mean, a lot of people, especially with the first act, because I mean, I have no problem whatsoever with organized religion. I don't. Just certain purveyors and practitioners of it, the zealots, the ones who twist and misconstrue everything to further their own agenda. Those are the people that piss me off. Right. So I mean, I've argued the point. I mean, there's no blasphemy. I don't think there's anything blasphemous about the first act, or even the trilogy itself. But it's just everything borders, comes down to faith and spirituality and stuff like that. So we're trying to sort of make existential noir films more palatable to mid-Americans. I hope we can do that. Act 1 pisses a lot of people off. Act 3 is not going to piss as many people off. It looks beautiful. The way we shot it, the story, everything else like that. Like, I don't think a lot of people are going to put those two together in the same series, which makes me very happy. Act 2 is going to be even better. But yeah, we've gotten a lot of positive response. I mean, we show up at conventions like this. I'm very fortunate to be able to have a crew that we can go ahead and cut together like little teaser trailers and stuff like that, for very specific cons. So we just don't have the same thing we're posting over and over again. But we show up and people, they know who Hot Pink Jesus is. By the time the con ends, they're calling me Hot Pink Jesus because I'm always running around with them.
Very cool.
I actually had a girl offer me $20 in the elevator on Friday night to take this back to her hotel room for an hour. I was like, like, it's my only one. I didn't bring another one. So,
only if MVP could film it.
I think he was in a snuff film last night. I gave it to English for like an hour. He brought it back. It smelled odd.
Well, very cool, man. Well,
a lot of people are pissed off about it, but people are always pissed off.
Yeah, they're always.
They always need something to bitch about.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, it's all good. It'll all come out in the wash for sure. And cream always rises to the top.
Tell me, I mean, we have no delusion. Like, I'm not going to be the famous Hollywood director. I mean, I realize that. I fully accept it, but I don't want to be. We're making the movies that we want to make, and when it stops being fun and starts becoming a job, then we'll just stop doing it.
Yeah, you guys really have fun with this. Obviously, it really comes through. So
we have a brilliant time on our sets too. We've had a no drama rule. I mean, we joke. We have the puerile sense of humor of 5-year-olds. We laugh at dick and fart jokes. We talk about movies a lot. But we get an insane amount of stuff done. I mean, I do a huge amount of pre-production and pre-planning and stuff like that, so that in a 4-day shoot we can knock out a 30-minute film and get everything we need. So I mean, it's a lot of fun, but a lot of work too. As you guys obviously well know how much time and labor and effort and everything goes into every single detail of it. So
it consumes your life, but if that's your passion, then that's what drives you on. Well, tell everybody about Hot Pink Jesus. where they can go to watch it, find out more about it, what screenings are coming up, all the above.
Well, if you have 2 cans, some string, and a series of tubes, you can check us out online. www.madonesfilms.com. We also have www.hotpinkjesus.com. We have the YouTube thingies going on and stuff like that. We're on the Facey Space. We're on the Tweety Twat thingies. Obviously, you can tell I have a problem with technology. I'm old. I don't like it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, wherever. I mean, you know, find us online, friend us, watch the videos and stuff like that. We're gonna have a lot of stuff coming out for Act 3. We just started post-production on that, so we're gonna have sneak peeks and behind-the-scenes things. I think we're gonna try and get a QR code and put some of the more lascivious content that YouTube won't let us post. We'll put that somewhere secret for people to go and find. So if you like tits and tacos, check back with us very, very soon.
Who doesn't? Now that's a combination that'll appeal to any red-blooded
Tits
American
and
man.
tacos. Hot Pink Jesus, the savior of bad behavior.
All right, brother. Well, keep up the good work. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
We'll
Thank
see
you
you at
guys.
Mad Ones Films. Check us out at Newtonville.com.
Vaya con diablos.
You're watching Mutant TV.